Welcome to episode 8 of the David Ian Howe Show. I think it's 8. We'll put that right here. We'll be right back. Yeah, so I'm here with Jonny. Is it Devaney? Devaney. Okay, because you like it's different in your Instagram name or your is it or am I
my
crazy?
Instagram name is Joncy Dev, and then my real name is Jonny Devaney.
Okay, I was very confused. So
That's
now
fine,
we're good.
yeah.
Sweet guitar back there, by the way. Oh, you have
Thank you.
Takedown bow too. Cool.
Yeah, that's for LARP.
That's right. You texted me and said you were LARPing one day.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
What's that like? Is it fun?
It's the most fun that I've ever had in my entire life.
Okay.
If you are a nerd and you like to hit people with sticks, just Google LARP in your city, and I'm sure that there is going to be something that you can go find and do. It's super fun, yeah.
Sweet. Because I mean, I've seen it. It was in role models and stuff, and it looks super fun. I'm just like 32 at this point. It'd be weird to just like show up, but I'm sure there's like older dudes there too.
Oh, yeah, there's a bunch of older dudes. Yeah, you'd fit right in.
Cool, dude. Yeah. So for the people listening that are on my YouTube channel that here for dogs and archaeology, this dude, I found you because people sent me your video. I can't curse in the first 10 minutes. A lot. And it was you giving the muffin to the wolf and like doing the little head dance thing. Yeah. I can't play the music because of copyright strike issues, but it is the song called Funky Town, and he's giving a wolf a muffin and it becomes a dog, and then they both jam out. Copyright strike issues. And they sent it to me like every day. And one, I was like, man, like that guy, that's really funny. And then two, it's just like, yes, I've seen it. But, people just want to be, interact with me and
Yeah.
I already cursed doing I'll bleep it. Anyway, yeah. So tell me a little bit more about yourself because I have no idea who you are.
Yeah. I'm Jonny. I make dog videos on the internet. I kind of started doing that like 2021. It was after COVID or like mid-COVID. I just posted like random dog. I was doing if dog breeds were people, and those did really well. And so I was just like, okay, yeah, I'll just keep doing that for you guys. No worries about it. And yeah, that's what I do now. I quit my job as a photographer and I just make TikToks. Well, I mean, not really TikToks, more YouTube because TikTok doesn't pay Canadians.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
It's annoying.
I guess I know you were Canadian. I think that came up somewhere.
I'm Canadian American, so a lot of people get confused because I sound like I'm from Southern California.
Okay, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I would just sound like a normal American accent.
Yeah.
So you're like a half, or what is it, mudblood? There you go.
Yeah, I'm a half breed.
Yeah, there you go. Cool. Your mom's Canadian, your dad's Canadian?
My mom's American, my dad's Canadian.
And where are you at?
I'm in Ottawa right now, but this year I was living in Boston and I just moved back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beantown?
Yeah.
I've only ever heard it called that. I don't know why it's called that.
I have no idea either. Yeah.
I went there as a kid. Last time I was ever there. Seemed cool, but I was like 8. Played Pokemon the whole time.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So you made these videos and they went like super viral because I know the dog breed ones did well too. My dad sent me a few of them too because my dad's TikTok feed is like all German Shepherds because I have one.
Nice.
So it's like he doesn't have a dog. So like I guess I want to dive into like what got you. I mean, it's hard to ask people what got you into dogs. I'll just start off with this. What do dogs mean to you?
Oh man, that's a good question.
You can think about it if you need to.
I'm trying to think of something either like really funny or really sweet, but I can't. They mean everything to me. I love dogs.
Right.
They're just the best. They're my best friend. I grew up with 2 dogs, like from age 5 till I was like 21. They were really old. And so I think that kind of started my love for dogs. And then my mom actually owns a dog walking company. And so I'm just surrounded by dogs every single day. I have 5 dogs in the house currently right now.
Okay. They're all yours?
One's mine, one's my mom's, and then 2. Okay, I guess I only have 4. And then 2 are clients.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you dog walk too, or is it you just helping your mom out? Okay.
Yeah, I'm mainly bored because I don't know, they hang out. I've got a big enough house for more than enough dogs. And so, yeah, they just kind of hang out.
So you're like all in, dude.
Yeah, I'm all in. I'm all about dogs.
That's awesome. Do you smell?
Probably
not.
I've had my niece come up to me and be like, "You smell," and I was like, "Yeah, that's probably the dogs. Actually, I'm sure one just farted by your face."
Yeah. I used to like. I mean, there's always a joke. I know you probably don't smell the joke that like you blame it on the dog, but I'd never really like smelled or heard a dog fart until I've had my dog.
Oh yeah,
it's
they
like,
fart so much.
It's crazy, dude. Sometimes you hear it.
Well, and like there's one dog that I take care of. He's like this 120-pound Bernedoodle, or maybe he's just a regular poodle. I don't know. But his farts are like insanely long and insanely drawn out, like air releasing.
So just like a loose like flow of a tube of air coming out of the
tube
dogs.
of air. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah. It's nasty.
Okay. Sweet. That is cool. Yeah, mine will like randomly just lay down and you'll just hear it like this is great content for 5 minutes in.
This is amazing, yeah.
I can't really describe it. I've just never heard it until I had a German Shepherd and I was like, oh wow, because he's like huge and he's like part Malamute or whatever. But
so he's massive, yeah.
Super massive. He's a elk hound Malamute but like 50% Shepherd. So
okay, wow. Nice.
Yeah, he is insanely smart but neurotic. And
elk hound, is that the Norwegian?
Yeah,
I've never met one in person.
Okay, it's called a Wyoming Mountain Dog. It's not like an official breed, but they make them here. I'm in Wyoming.
Sounds official to me.
Yeah,
it's a pretty sick name too. Wyoming Mountain Dog. That goes pretty hard.
Yeah, it does go really hard.
Yeah,
and he's like the best looking one I've seen, and he was like the runt of his litter. And I didn't know that when I got him. I just he ended up being really good looking. But they're bred for hunting elk and moose. So like having him out here and not teaching him to do that, and then moving to the suburbs of Augusta, Georgia, where it's like 110 degrees.
Yeah,
he didn't like thrive.
Yeah, that's totally valid.
Yeah, and that gets into like dog training and behavior and all that. Yeah, I can't remember where I was going with the dog smell. It's like a specific. Like when I put my dog in an actual kennel and my aunt.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Like, is it the pee? Is it the poop? Is it like their fur?
I don't know. Cause I have a Samoyed and like people are always just like, oh yeah, Samoyeds have like an oil on their fur. And so like, when you touch a dog and they have that certain kind of like, it's not a grime, but it's like, I don't know the word for it, but you feel it and it's on your hands and you're like, oh, like, what is that?
Dog cheese, I guess.
Yeah. Dog cheese. Sure. Yeah. My dog doesn't have that. And so I don't think my dog smells too bad.
Right.
But my other dog, who's a tree walking Coon Hound, who's here today, he has that. It's not as bad, but he does have that.
A tree walking Coon Hound?
I know, right? Isn't that a mouthful?
It sounds like I don't know, like something super exotic.
It's from I think Tennessee.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess it like walks up the trees to like tree animals or something. Is that where it comes from?
I guess. I think they're bred for hunting raccoons. I think.
Okay.
I don't know. You'd have to Google it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds right. A coon hound, raccoon. Yeah.
When I'm just like spitballing questions at you here, but when you come up with these like videos for doing dog breed types and stuff like that, are you doing like research on it, or is it just kind of from knowledge and experience? I'm sure it's both. So
I'm one of those people. So like how I came across you is because I usually, if it's post 5 o'clock, I will sit down on my computer and just watch YouTube videos. And 9 times out of 10, they're like historic or like history videos.
Yeah.
And you were on my autoplay and it was like finding a gold mine because you just had so much. Cause I always look for like YouTube videos where people are like, yeah, here's everything about dog history. And nobody really makes that. And so when I found yours, I was like, this is amazing. And I watched the whole thing just in one go. I was like, this is insane. This is incredible. But yeah, most of the time it's like Wikipedia, unfortunately, but they have good sources at the bottom. So I go to the bottom there.
Right.
But I'm making like 1 minute videos, so I don't need to do like an insane amount of research. But yeah, I do the bare minimum.
Just enough to like, know like what Okay. So what's like your favorite one you've made?
Oh, that's a good question. I really like, I made one. I don't know if you've seen it. It was a wolf it was a dog trying to recruit a wolf to like being a dog. It was basically like a play on Mormons going door to door.
Okay.
And so I was dressed as like a missionary, and I was trying to recruit a wolf. And I just like the last line I say, would you like to hear about our Lord and Savior, Sarah McLachlan?
Oh,
I think that's just a pretty funny line.
Solid, dude.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Nice. I haven't seen that one. I'll have to check it out.
It's somewhere. You can find it. Just look for me wearing a white shirt and a tie.
You love the costumes. I've noticed that.
I do, yeah. I go to Dollarama a lot, and I just clean them out.
Dollar? Is that like a Party City
Dollar
kind of thing?
Store, yeah. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, okay.
It's Canadian.
Oh, no, it's all good. Cool. I didn't know that. Okay. And then like you blew up. Like you have like 2-something million on TikTok.
Yeah.
What's that like?
I don't know. It means more to me on YouTube because that's
monetary.
Monetary value. But like it's cool. People stop me on the street and they're like, "Oh, you're that dog guy." And I'm like, "Yeah, what kind of dog do you have?" And then we just like show each other pictures of our dogs and stuff. That's 9 times out of 10 how interactions will go with me. But yeah, I don't know. I thought getting to like 2 million would change my life, and I'm still here.
Right.
Hanging out. Not really doing much, just hanging out with dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like it seems like it's like a TikTok. Where am I going with this? I immediately went to like 200,000 on TikTok within like 3 months of being on it, just with like one video I had.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, it was like me as the caveman, like giving the caveman the axe. Just went like super viral. I guess I went to like 100-something thousand. And then after that, I was doing those lecture videos, and that pushed me to like 200 something. But that's like so quick. But then on Instagram, which I've been on for 5 years now, like grinding, it takes way longer to grow an audience on that. Oh yeah, like in my understanding. So it's like it's weird, and the interactions you have with people on TikTok or Instagram to me are more personable, and you can like message better. Whereas TikTok, it's like foreign to me still.
Yeah,
I don't know if you experienced that.
I hate TikTok. I don't even post on it anymore. I haven't posted on TikTok unless it's an ad, because I'm contractually obligated to do that. Right. But I haven't posted just like an actual video just for fun on TikTok, just because I'm like, everything about this is just overwhelming, and I kind of just don't like it. And it feels a lot more not attainable, but like it feels more doable on Instagram and on YouTube. Because especially on Instagram, like I can see who you are and like what you're about, and like we can talk and stuff like that, and people can reply and all that good stuff, where I don't feel like that's the same on TikTok.
Right.
But that could just be me.
I know. I think you're right. Cause like my TikTok, you have to be friends with somebody to message them or whatever.
Yeah.
I get message requests too randomly from like people. I don't know if they follow me. I don't know how that works.
Just like, hey, nice Italian blazer.
Solid cut, dude. Respect.
I got you.
I should have worn that today.
You should have.
It's always like someone saying hi. I don't know if it's like a bot or like there's like my Instagram messages is just full of like Chinese, like check out my cam, like stuff like that. It's like constant, and the filter through that to then find somebody who somehow slipped through the cracks, and it's like they're asking a genuine question, and then also like Bitcoin scans and like and all that. Or
like, hey, how much for feet pics, stuff like that.
Right, dude. Those requests are like, I don't know how much you want to get into that, but like
let's dive right in. Head first, eyes closed, can't lose.
Respect. Didn't know that was like a thing. And then like just like how blunt some people are of like, let me see you like naked.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's awesome. It makes you feel really good about yourself. Cause like I thought I had ugly feet, and then I got people coming left, right, and center like, yo, how much for feet pics? And I was like, oh my God, really? You think I have nice feet? Thanks.
There's definitely a level of that for sure to me. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Like I got an email yesterday that was like, dude, I love your content, yada, yada. And then at the very end, it's like, also you're cute. And I was like, okay, like you could have just said that.
Yeah, just open with that first, and then I'd respond immediately.
And like, I don't know if they're expecting me to like respond and be like, let's date. But like, or like what it is. And it's like a dude, I'm pretty straight. So I'm like, I'm flattered. Yeah. Like other people, like you can tell it's like kind of a DM slide, because I've DM slid before, we all have at some point. And you're like, this is what I know what you're getting at with this.
Shoot your shot. whatever. Who
Right.
cares? Yeah.
And I've met like several friends like that way too, which is like kind of funny, or just
Yeah.
like Instagram in general. But I don't know, does that exponentially grow when you're like into the upper echelons there?
I turned it off after a while, so like you can't message me unless you've been following me for a couple months, I think. Just because,
That's a thing?
I don't know if it's a couple months, it might be a couple weeks. But yeah, I try not to read any comments or any really DMs really, because I don't know, I think that's like just unnatural having thousands of people speak to you. Like, I'm just like, yeah, that's overwhelming. I don't want to hear it. Even if it's great things, I'm just like, nah, like I'm good today. Actually, I'd rather just look at my dog. He doesn't talk back. I could just speak to him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And his like political opinions are to himself, you know?
Yeah.
I was talking with Lindsay Nicole about that too. And like, when I first started, like, of course I want to read some of the comments because I was trying to do like an academic with citations and like, you know, am I doing this right? Or people pissed? And then the more you get, like, the more comments you get. Like, there's always someone pissed. You can't please everybody.
You absolutely cannot please everybody.
Do you get that on like your breed videos and stuff?
Oh, 100%. Like the first thing that comes to mind is I did a Rottweiler video. And I made a joke of the Rottweiler being like, "Oh, you're a mailman? Come step onto my property, bro. Like, see what happens." And then the mailman steps onto the property, and the Rottweiler runs away scared. Which is like, yeah, like some Rottweilers will do that. Some Rottweilers aren't going to do that. And some woman went on like a big long tirade, and she's like, "Actually, my Rottweiler would never do that. He would absolutely demolish any stranger that comes onto my property." I was like, "That's so cool, dude. Good for you. I don't care."
Yeah, for sure.
It's stuff like that.
The dog community, or like dog training community, I've noticed on social media is extremely toxic.
Yeah. And a lot of people ask me like, "Oh, you know a lot about dogs. Like, what do I do for training?" And I'm like, bro, I have no idea. Yeah. I don't know. I ask people to help me with my dog. Like, I don't know anything.
I always tell people like, I'm not a vet and I'm not a behaviorist, but like, here's my opinion.
I can tell you where Salukis come from. That's it. That's kind of, I know a little bit about the histories, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I assume you get a lot of that.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay.
I usually volunteer that information. Like, I hear somebody, "Oh, you got a poodle." And I'm like, "Oh, they're actually German, not French. Did you know that?" I'm one of those people.
I didn't know that.
Oh, they're German.
Okay.
To the Germans.
Do you know much more about that? Like, are you comfortable talking?
Oh man.
Not don't me to put you in a spot.
No, I do not know any more about that.
Okay. All good. I had a list of questions for you that
I'd also be super down to just talk about dog history, and you just do all the talking and me listening.
Okay. Yeah, if you have questions, just like shoot them at me and I'll answer them. But
okay.
let me just start with one. I just opened Excel. Didn't mean to do that. Yeah. So like I just want to get that out of the way. The TikTok success and the Instagram versus YouTube. Like, my biggest platform is Instagram. Well, most following is on TikTok, but my like most used platform is Instagram. And then, so you're doing YouTube shorts and that's like killing it, or you're doing like long form?
I've tried long form. They do okay. I thought for a little bit that I was going to do like the history of dogs, and I was going to do like 10-minute videos. Cause like, do you know oversimplified kind of those kind of style of videos?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Like an explainer type thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just quick, like 10-minute history videos on dogs. But then after doing one video, I was like, that was exhausting. I'm pretty sure I got like 50% of the information wrong. I don't want to do it again. It's really tiring. And I'm also just doing it by myself. And so I was like, yeah, I'll just stick to making jokes.
Yeah. Fair enough, dude. And like, you're really funny. So
Thank
congrats
you. I appreciate that. You're also very funny. I laughed a lot during your lecture, and I was like, "Oh, you got to watch this. It's hilarious." Did you know that dogs traveled with the Polynesians to island? Polynesians? Peloponnesians? Which one's which?
Those Peloponnesians exist. That's the peninsula that Sparta's on. But Polynesians is the
yes. I get those two confused all the time.
It's all good. It's a big that's a big word.
It's a huge difference.
That's a very historic thing. Yeah, I appreciate that. Like, I do stand up and stuff, but I try to like, my professors always told me like, you're really good at presenting. You know, like, they didn't specifically say you're not the best student, but I think that was their way of saying like, you're good at that.
Yeah.
So I just like kind of went with it. And then that lecture was a biology paper I wrote my first year of grad school, and then just kind of like honed it over the years.
The lecture that you posted on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And then
Okay.
I gave it as a guest lecture for my friend who I think was too hungover to like do class that day, or he was out of town. I think it was probably the former.
Yeah. We've been there.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, yeah, I can do that. And I just set up the camera because it was kind of informal. I was just doing it for a class, but it looks like there's a huge audience.
I thought there was I thought it was like a 200, 300 person lecture.
I added a laugh track to it.
Did you actually?
There was laughing, but it was only like a tiny little bit registering on my little mic.
Okay.
So added laughter when there was laughter. So it's like not cheating, but it's cheating.
I didn't even notice. So you got away with it, dude.
Hopefully not everyone sees this and like yells at me for that. But yeah, like that was like a funny thing I did too, because I wondered, one, how do I do that? Two, can I get away with it? And then three, it really like enhanced the lecture like a lot, I think. Because NPR hit me up, CNN hit me up to like talk about it.
That's sick.
And then like wanted me to like, because they were like, we want to do a more comedic style. CNN to the podcast. Would you be? And then they just never called me back. But
oof,
it was like, because that gets into a thing too, where NPR right off the bat asked me like, why aren't dogs like, how did they phrase this? Essentially, like, why are Muslims averse to dogs? That was the very first question they asked.
Forward, Jesus
and
Christ.
I just wasn't. And she identified as Palestinian. The guy identified as Iranian, and I was like, okay, like, how do I? Because I had no answer. I've never thought about it, but it was like a good, thought-provoking question, and I just said like, there's really no mention of dogs in the Bible or the Quran or the Torah.
I thought the Bible does have dogs in it.
Not like a lot. I think there's like a story or two, but
I think they refer to people as dogs. I think that's
it's a lot of derogatory like stuff like that, which is interesting. So I kind of just qualified with that, and I was like, I would imagine maybe just back then in the day, and that culture kind of evolved to like dogs are just not, because they are scavengers and seen as pests, and they're pretty dirty, especially street dogs. But yeah, just like right off the bat, I was like, whoa,
oh shit, okay.
How are you? and like, that was fun. Anyway, where's I going with that? But yeah, the lecture, like it's taken me years to like get that down, and I try to do it. Like, do you do stand up or like any kind of comedy on the outside?
I used to do improv comedy because I studied musical theater in college for a little bit, and then I dropped out and switched to film and media production. But so I've never done stand up before. The closest would be me hosting a stand up event where I made like 3 jokes and they all fell flat.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. I think you'd be great at it.
Thanks.
It just takes a little bit of time, but I can totally see you having done improv or something like that, like before you do your videos, because they're like not, I wouldn't say scientifically funny, but like you're funny.
Thanks.
Yeah. What got you into like doing all that, like musical theater and then improv?
Oh man, probably honestly watching Friends. I just was obsessed with Matthew Perry, and I was just like, I want to be Matthew Perry. And
maybe not now.
I watched Friends way too young. Like I watched Friends starting at the age of like 8, and so a lot of the jokes I'd be like, oh, like, what does this mean, Mom? And my mom's like, don't worry about it. You'll understand that when you're 15. But also like my brother, who's 10 months older than me, and we went to the same school for eternity, he was also into it. And so I think just by proxy, I'm kind of into what he's into. Like he started with LARP too, and he was like, hey, do you want to come LARP with me? And I was like, oh, sure, I'll give it a try. And then I tried it, and I was like, oh, this is pretty sick. I'm going to keep coming with you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a mix of desperate need for attention and validation. And then no, that's only partially true. Yeah, it's just a bunch of things, and I think it's fun, and I like being funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate you being honest, because I mean, there is that when someone's like, dude, that's funny. I'm like, all right, cool. I've always noticed, like, and kind of what my professors got at too, was that like using humor to teach is a lot more effective for me. Like if a teacher cursed in college, I was always like, okay, he's cool. He's down to earth. He's not pretentious.
Yeah.
I only had like a handful of pretentious professors, but if they did that, I was more engaged. If they like made jokes, if they like we're more lax. I always learned better. So I just took that
100%.
approach with teaching. Yeah.
Yeah. I've always said, because I grew up Catholic, and so every Sunday I was in church. And I've always said that I think priests should spend like at least a semester or two doing stand-up, like practicing stand-up, because the best priests that I've had are ones that are funny. And I'm just like, I don't want to hear you talk about boring stuff in a monotone voice. Like, throw in a joke every once in a while, bro. Like,
Right.
it's interesting.
You just see priests like opening for Theo Von or something. Like,
I would be so down. I'd be so down. I have a question though for you. So where'd you go to university or college?
For undergrad, I went to University of Tennessee, Knoxville.
Okay.
I went to Chattanooga my freshman year, then I transferred because I had a better anthro program.
Okay, so you studied anthro.
Yeah, I was history first because that's just kind of like what you do when you're into history.
Yeah.
But then I always liked human evolution and primates and digging holes and archaeology.
So did you start knowing that you were going to go into like dog anthropology, or did you start being like, oh, I'm going to do human anthropology?
I took an Anthro 101 class, and that's when I realized, okay, this is like the specific field I want to study, not history. And I did that as my minor. And then at my university, there was like a guy or a professor, when his dog died, they put it like in a fake burial in the museum.
Okay.
That looks like an archaeological dig.
Oh, cool.
And I thought that was super cool.
Yeah.
Another girl who's getting her PhD was studying dogs, and it just was always like a thing to me, but I always noticed like there wasn't like, where do dogs come from? And like clearly there's an archaeological aspect to it. And then we watched something in class about it, and it's just not a field.
Yeah.
Though you can study it through zoology or archaeology kind of thing. So I then applied to grad school with the like intent of doing something with dogs, which I ended up
And what'd you
doing.
take in grad school? Just more anthro, or?
Yeah, more anthro, specifically like hunter-gatherer ecology and archaeology. So how humans operate like zoologically on a landscape.
Okay.
And then you can, study that through tools and bones and all that.
That's pretty sick. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Ended up doing projectile. Like I did like a ballistics gel experiment for my thing because it's a little more tangible than like dogs.
Yeah.
Because you can't just be like, I'm going to go dig 30 sites and hope I find a dog and I can talk about it. Like, it's just not like a...
Yeah, that's fair. So do you have to do a dig for your thesis or something or other?
In the States, and I think Canada too, you're required to do a field school. That's what it's called. So it's like a... in your undergrad, you take like a summer course where you're going to digs or some kind of survey, or you could be in a museum, and like that, in my opinion, weeds out people that aren't cut out for like, digging all day out in the sun and the heat and stuff. But also when you go to grad school, it shows that you're competent and like some field skills and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Dude, it's really fun. I don't know if you were too, but like I always loved attention and like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like did stuff with humor, but I was always like extremely socially anxious and quiet.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
And like wouldn't talk to people. And in college, I was just like, that girl's looking at me. Oh God. And I didn't know what to do. But then I took my field school and did some field projects with people that were in anthropology, and we all like had that in common, but they were just so down to earth and stuff, and had like the best summer of my life. And I was like, okay, this is what I'm doing.
That's pretty sick. So that sounds like a good time. Man. Where was the dig?
The first one I did was in South Carolina, and it was a big Stone Age quarry along this river. And it like was one of the bigger Clovis sites in the world. So it's like where the Paleolithic hunters that were like mammoth hunting were like harvesting stone to like make. So the whole place is a quarry with like campsites all around it where they were just chipping rock and stuff all day.
That's sick.
Yeah. And then my actual field school, I just did that to volunteer, was digging up what's called shell middens in Nashville. And the Mississippians, like the big mound building people that lived up and down the river, they just stacked all their trash and food on the riverbank, and it would like pile up and they'd smooth it out. And it kind of like is functional structure, as in like it's just a trash heap, but also like the refuse has to go somewhere. I'm not explaining shell middens completely correctly. Someone's like freaking out right now. Where I'm going with that is there's like human remains in some of them, but I saw a lot of dogs in one of them. And I've seen other sites too where it's like listed that dogs are just thrown in these heaps all the time. And it's interesting because some cultures, they bury the dogs, or at least some of them. Other ones, they eat them. Other ones, they just kind of toss them in the trash, or you can't really see them because they're ephemeral. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that does. Yeah. Those are I've seen pictures of those mounds. Is that what I'm thinking of? Those like rolling hills kind of?
Yeah, those are the mounds.
Okay.
I'll put a picture here in the thing, but like a shell midden's like essentially like a big steep plateau on the side of a river.
Okay.
Full of junk. Like a landfill. Kind of like what it looks like.
Nice.
Yeah. But some of them had ceremonial purposes and all that. But I just dogs was my jam. I always liked that. I wanted to know where they came from. And I saw a history documentary where they it's called Mankind, the Story of All of Us. I don't know if you've seen that.
I don't think so.
It's all on YouTube. It's really good.
Okay.
One of the better things History Channel put out, and Josh Brolin narrates it.
Ooh, love me some Josh Brolin.
Yeah, dude. Thanos snaps in the beginning. He doesn't. But the first thing is humans are here's the universe. Here comes humans. They're hunter-gatherers in Africa. Big primates. They sweat. And then dog. And then the next scene was the Ice Age and wolf domestication. And then it goes right on to the rest of history. And I was like, whoa, go back.
Wait. That's my favorite part.
So I just went to school for that, Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
You were super hyped to chat with me. I noticed that. And,
dude, I can't express to you how often I quote that they traveled with dogs in Polynesia,
Polynesia.
Thank you, Jesus Christ.
Polynesian sauce at Chick-fil-A.
Because when I found that out, I was like, oh my God, this shatters the worldview, because I had just listened to a podcast on Rapa Nui, Easter Island, and they said something some throwaway thing about how they found a dog there. And I was like, are you kidding me? What, did the Spanish bring dogs in their boats in 1700s? And then I saw your thing a couple days later and I was like, what? Yeah. That's so far.
Right.
They had to have eaten them at some point, right?
So this is something I don't post about too often because it will just invite, insane comments. But
that's fair.
For most of human history, dogs were just eaten.
Yeah, I figured that. Yeah.
Either out of necessity or, in my opinion, a lot of sites, probably out of some kind of it's called auto-cannibalism. Correction. I meant to say endo-cannibalism, not auto-cannibalism. Auto-cannibalism is when you eat yourself. Endo-cannibalism is when you eat people within your group. Exo-cannibalism is when you eat people outside of your group. Ecto-cannibalism, I guess, is if you eat ghosts, but that's not really a thing. So endo-cannibalism within your group, exo-cannibalism outside of your group. So if dogs are an extension of people, or humanity in a sense, there's a lot of tribes that would when someone dies, everyone takes a bite kind of thing. And it sounds weird now, but it's they're part of you.
I think I actually have heard of that before. Yeah.
Yeah. And on paper, it it's poetic, but it's a little weird.
Yeah.
But with a dog that was revered, or a good hunting dog, if you ate some of its body when you're done, maybe you get the hunting power kind of thing. Seems to be
one of those things.
That all speculative, but I imagine that happens because on every continent there's dogs. Just not Antarctica. Well, there's dogs on Antarctica now, but
they ate dogs on Antarctica too. I know that.
Yeah, see, they're an emergency food source when you need them to be.
Yeah.
I think I talked about with the Polynesian thing. I want to write a novel. It's post-apocalyptic, where all the animals are dead, but dogs. And there's certain tribes that breed them for food, and the other tribes that are super opposed to that, and they fight. And then there's a dude with one last dog, and they're all trying to get it because they want it for food or something. I don't know what the story would be.
Oh, dude, I'd watch the living shit out of that. Wait, no,
yeah, right?
I'd read the living shit out of that.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where I'm all right, how do I, and I'm YouTube like apocalyptic world building, and then it's 3 a.m. 2 videos later, and I'm like, oh, dude, I haven't written anything.
Yeah.
Like Horizon Zero Dawn kind of or something. Or
well, I remember walking into my house in college and my roommate was playing Fallout, and you have a German Shepherd in Fallout.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? This game's sick. And I sat down and I started playing it when he was gone. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't actually like this game. I just wanted to run around with the dog.
Right. Dog Meat is his name, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. At least in the show. I haven't played the game, but I know of it.
I have seen the show, and I didn't remember that. I guess I tuned that out because I was like, Dog Meat, what a bad name.
That's another thing too. In like a lot of post-apocalyptic movies, there's always a dog.
That's the best part.
Yeah, it is the best part to me. I Am Legend clearly is like the number one, but then...
Oh, dude, I forgot about that. That's also a German Shepherd. Or is that a Belgian?
It is. It's German Shepherd.
Okay.
But like in that movie, the dog, because it'd be weird... How would I explain this? In a book, when you're reading it, you can hear his thoughts and inner monologue. So that's like the exposition. Mm-hmm. But in a movie, it's kind of weird to just have Will Smith narrating like while he's on screen what's in his head. So the dog was like put in there for him to like have someone to speak to. And you wouldn't like speak to a goat. I mean, you can, but it's just like
you just be a little quirky.
Yeah. What's up, Bill? And he's like, hey. And then the goat runs in and checks for zombies in a room.
That could be an interesting book.
It would be a super cool book, honestly. Yeah. The goat that could. Or the goat that lived. Yeah, there you go.
Well, I mean, doesn't Sam die at the end of the...
Sam does die. Spoiler alert for anybody. But
if you've never seen this 15-year-old movie.
Yeah. But with him dying or her dying, I think Samantha's its name. I remember that, like they revealed that at the end, and I'm like, oh, it's a girl.
It's a girl dog.
Because it was just like a cool way of doing that. But yeah, like it's a way for him to be the last man on Earth, but have someone to talk to in the form of an animal. But it's still like a very human literary device.
Yeah, I mean, if I was the last man on Earth and like there were no dogs, I would make it my mission to domesticate wolves again, because like, what's the point?
Yeah, like go real far north to go find them.
Yeah,
I guess south for you. Well, no, I don't know where Ottawa is.
Ottawa's pretty south
that way. Okay.
Yeah,
I think most of Canada is like a strip above the U.S. in it.
There's
the population.
I think it's like 100 kilometers. I think 75% of Canadians live within 100 kilometers of the American-Canadian border.
Okay, that checks out.
It's a lot.
Been to Vancouver, Toronto, and I think that's it.
Yeah, that's all you need to do. Maybe Montreal, but
never been. Much. Looks super cool.
It's very cool. I like Montreal a lot. That's probably one of my favorite cities in Canada.
Is it like super French?
I mean, yeah, but there's a lot of English people there too. Like I don't speak French for the life of me, and I've never had a problem in Montreal.
Okay.
You'll hear the occasional tabernacle, but that's fine.
Sweet. Is that like
that's French for fuck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought tabernacle was like a religious thing.
All of the French Canadian swears are like religion related. I don't know why. Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't know. It doesn't track. I just said that. Was it the literary device with that, and then the original movie is called A Boy and His Dog, that has like a dog in it, and the dog, it's like super problematic now, but he like, in exchange for the human finding him food, like the dog sniffs out women for him. Super weird. And then they go down into this like underground society where he's like, they're trying to harvest his like seed. At the time, it was like kind of like a cult classic, but when you watch it now, you're like, ooh. But that inspired Fallout, because they go into like a Fallout shelter, and there's like a people living underground and stuff in a weird 50s Americana thing.
I just thought the Cold War inspired Fallout. That's interesting.
I guess that probably did most of it, but I know a
lot of the heavy lifting.
The creators had said that one, and then there's like Mad Max with Mel Gibson. There's like the little blue healer that's in it.
I've never seen the originals. I've only seen the Tom Hardy one.
They're weird. The Tom Hardy one's cool.
The Tom Hardy one is really good.
I've seen a meme that was like, when the apocalypse in Mad Max, like it's just Australia. The rest of the world is fine. I have seen
that too. Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
What do you think Wyoming would be like in a Mad Max? People with just the Wyoming mountain dog with a spike strapped to its back, just paint it chrome.
Witness me. Yeah, I don't know, Wyoming. There's a lot of guns here. I imagine it'd be very like turn into like the Night's Watch, just like soldiers with dogs or wolves.
I'd also watch that.
I would too. Anything with like, well, did you watch Thrones?
Oh yeah.
I think we had talked about that.
Oh yeah.
So like, did you read it?
No, I don't think I have the brain capacity for that.
Okay. I did it back when I was in college in like in reading mode every day.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do it now. But
Yeah.
in the books, all of the kids have like a psychological or a psychic connection with the wolves.
Oh, what?
Yeah, they all like dream of like as the wolf and stuff. Because Bran wargs into the wolf in the show.
Yeah.
But they all like John dreams as ghosts sometimes.
What
and in the
fuck,
last chapter, the last chapter of the books that is published is John being stabbed by the Night's Watch.
Oh, is that when the books end? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he's still dead in the books. We don't know if he comes back to life, but you know the Red Priest is there. But his last thought is ghost. So like the theory is like he says ghost. So like he must warg into Ghost's body, and that's how he's still alive or something.
Interesting.
Would be my theory.
Damn.
And this will blow your mind too. Sansa's wolf in the very beginning got killed because Nymeria, Arya's wolf bit Joffrey,
Mm-hmm.
and they couldn't find her, so they put Lady down. So the whole beginning of first 5 seasons of the show, Sansa has no agency because like she's just like she's lost and like stuck because she has no wolf, whereas Arya's on this like wild trek by herself with the Hound and stuff, and her wolf is like out there running around wild. It all like reflects. Bran and Rickon, like Bran, obviously it's the same in the show. Rickon can like dream with his wolf, I think too. But yeah, John being the number one, and then Robb Stark too. And like his wolf was super cool in the books, like eating and biting people and stuff. But they can only do so much in the show. But I was stoked they put it in.
That is very cool. That would have been probably a lot more episodes they would need to carry on to. But that's a very interesting concept. I wish they had that in the show.
I'm really excited to see where the books go with that because it's like, yeah, John like dreams as like ghost and he's like eating stuff and
that's kind of creepy.
Yeah, there's all sorts of like you hear from the wildlings about like a warging and stuff that you know warging into an animal is like an abomination or warging into a person is an abomination. So like Bran warging into Hodor in the book is like super evil and creepy. Because like Hodor is like scared of him,
yeah,
and like it said he tries to like hide from Bran, but he still like it's really weird. But eating the flesh of an animal or a person when you're in wolf form is like considered like a abomination, is like what it says in the book. So anyway, that's getting into the weeds, but it's just a cool way of exploring like dogs in media. I don't really know, or like wolves.
Yeah, I mean, did you watch House of Dragon?
Yeah, dude.
Did you cry when that dog's owner was hung by the Night's Watch or whatever? Not the Night's Watch, Kingsguard.
City Watch or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool device too, because even the author too said that he knew he was supposed to like, because he wrote who those Blood and Cheese were those two dudes. Mm-hmm. He knew he was supposed to hate them, but he was like adding the dog was like a cool thing for him because he was like, then you like really hate because he kicked the dog and then the dog was sad. Yeah, I thought that was neat.
Yeah. Are you liking the show so far? How do you feel about it?
I haven't been edged so hard, dude, since that finale. Because the books get crazy when the Starks make it down. It's like, it's wild. But like, I thought we'd see some of that.
Is it just one book for this prequel? Or is it multiple?
Yeah, it's Fire and Blood is what it's called.
Okay.
And then there's a lot of references in the actual old trilogy saga of like what, you know, they talk about Rhaenyra a lot. So you know what happens to her and stuff. Yeah. And it's interesting because it's written as a history book written by a maester who has like a biased account. Oh. And then also Rhaenyra's court jester is like and he's a dwarf, is like also a source of information that the maester is like getting. And he has like insane versions of what happened.
Is he pro blacks or pro greens?
He's pro black, I believe.
Okay.
But like when Eric and Eric go at it in duel, like the way he describes the fight is like insane. And like as like what happens, and the Maester wrote a different version. So in the show, it's cool because you're seeing what actually happened, and you can get pieces of like how, because his whole thing is like when he writes the books, like the Shadowlands of Ashai and like all the magic and stuff is all written from the perspective of those old like snooty dudes in the Citadel.
Yeah.
So like they might think like, oh, the Dothraki are savages, but like you find out they're actually pretty complex culture and like all that.
Yeah.
Forget where I was going with that. Right. So the book is a biased account of history because we don't know what happened in, you know, Alfred the Great's courtroom, you know, or court. Yeah. Sorry, I'm nerding out about.
No, that's fine. It makes me want to read the books, but I know that I'm going to get like 2 pages in, forget what I just read, and have to go back. And it's just going to be a vicious cycle of me not understanding.
That's exactly how reading is for me.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's why I stick. You can't see it, but I have an absolute shit ton of comic books to my left because that's all I read is comic books.
You like that?
Oh yeah, that's my jam.
I tried to get into it and I couldn't, but like I respect the shit out of it.
You know what you might like? I just read, it's called Aerosmith. It's World War I, but if there were dragons and magic.
Okay.
It's pretty sick. The only thing is the artist died, and so they're not doing any more of it, and it ended kind of on a cliffhanger. Like they're in the middle of World War I, and so it is very sad that it ended, but it's just genuinely really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Aerosmith.
Like the band.
Arrow, like bow and arrow, and then Smith.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Is that how they spell it?
Comic. I think they spell like arrow as in like aeroport.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Aerosmith comic. Okay. What about comics do you like? Because I've like always tried to get into it.
I think it's just because I was obsessed with superheroes when I was a child, like Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man. That's my absolute jam. And I didn't really get into comic books until like after high school because I started reading Ultimate Spider-Man, like the early 2000s one. And I was like, this is sick. This is my, I keep trying not to swear, but I'm about to swear.
No, you're good. We're 48 minutes in. You can swear.
I fucking love Spider-Man.
Is the Ultimate Spider-Man, is that the one with Andrew Garfield? Like that universe?
That's Amazing Spider-Man. Ultimate Spider-Man is not in movie form yet, but it is the Drake Bell animated TV show.
I forgot he was in one of those.
Yeah, he plays Peter Parker.
Cool.
But it's also Brian Michael Bendis and somebody else. Early 2000s, like right around the time when Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man came out, they released Ultimate Spider-Man, and now they're doing a new one where Spider-Man's or Peter Parker's like 45, and he just becomes Spider-Man now, and that's actually really good as well.
So you have like joint pain as he's like swinging through the buildings? No,
I think he actually like gets the spider powers, and he's like, oh, I feel amazing.
I feel good.
Yeah.
He's got some tea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was like super obsessed with Wolverine as a kid and X-Men. And
Did you go see Deadpool Wolverine?
I did. Yeah, I just saw it like 2 days ago.
Good, bad? What are your thoughts?
I stopped watching the MCU after Loki or like Endgame. I couldn't like keep up with all the stuff, but I Wikipedia'd it and watched Screen Crush and stuff. So I kind of loved this movie because they poke fun at how like convoluted everything is.
Yeah.
And they were just like essentially like, fuck it, we'll bring him back somehow. We'll figure it out. And like, I loved it, dude. It was so funny.
It was a good time. I liked it a lot. I'm trying to go see it a second time, just because I feel like there's so much I missed that I need to just plug in and pay attention to everything on like the corners of the screen and stuff.
Yeah, like so much, dude.
Yeah.
That scene where they're like, him and Deadpool are fighting like down the street was like one of the coolest sequences I've seen in the movie.
Yeah,
and
that was a good time.
I've never seen Wolverine on screen with the big yellow mask and stuff, so it was super cool. And then the dog was there.
And the dog, yes, that's cute dog.
I think that dog's like famous on Instagram.
I think so too. I feel like I've seen him before.
Yeah, or maybe that's like a common thing for that kind of dog. But
what is it?
It looked like a Xolo or some kind of like Xolo.
Oh
Chihuahua.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
yeah, like the hairless thing.
Yeah. Could it be a Peruvian Inca orchid?
Is that a dog breed?
That is a dog breed. Yeah, it's like a Xolo, but from Peru.
I've never heard of that. That's
Yeah,
cool.
I thought, because I went to the dog park and I saw somebody, which I thought was a Sholo, and I was like, "Yo, is that a Sholo?" And they're like, "No." I was like, "Oh, sorry." Like, fuck, dude.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
I misgendered.
yeah,
I misbreeded.
yeah.
Okay. So Deadpool Wolverine, did you like that too in terms of like being a comic book fan? Was that like, did it do good service?
Yeah, I'm more of the only real Marvel person I read in comic books is Spider-Man. Everybody else is usually DC or Image Comics. So like Invincible, Radiant Black. I like the Flash and Batman a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. I've never picked up or read a Deadpool or Wolverine comic in my life.
Okay.
But I still like the movie. I understood all the references. I thought it was great.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I really enjoyed it. Super funny. I mean, the Deadpools always are, but
Yeah.
yeah. And then going through the different universes of finding like the right Wolverine, those were all different versions of him in the comics.
Yeah, I like
super
that.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thinking about it now too, I guess I really liked Wolverine as a kid because it's like dog-like.
Didn't he audition and he pretended to be like a dog or a wolf or something because he didn't know what a Wolverine was?
I didn't know that, but
I'm pretty
that's
sure.
good knowledge to know now.
Don't take that with a grain of salt, but I'm like 70% positive that that's what he said once in an interview.
Okay, that checks out.
Yeah.
Because he's always like has a hyper sense of smell and hearing and stuff. And I mean, I guess a Wolverine does too, but they're in the same evolutionary family, kind of. Well,
Are they?
a Wolverine, I believe, is
like
in
ferret,
Carnivora, right? So it'd be the same. Kingdom Animalia. It'd be the same order. Sorry, in terms of taxonomy.
Yeah, I'm gonna pretend I know a lot of those words. Yeah, dude, totally. Of course.
King Philip came over for good spaghetti. So Kingdom, Phyla, Animalia, Kingdom, Phyla, class, order, genus, species. Yeah. But I think where Wolverines and dogs would split would be in order because it's Carnivora. I'm getting into the weeds, but this is probably cool to you. There's caniforms and then there's feliforms in Carnivora. So like the cat-like animals, which would be cats, hyenas.
Hold on, pause. Hyenas are cats?
Yeah, like they're not
What?
They're cats in the sense that like bears are kind of dog-like, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay. But okay.
But hyenas mark their scents and stuff like that, and kind of like cats, and they sound like cats in a way. Yeah, it's really strange. They're like in they're feliforms, is kind of how you would.
So they don't, or they do share ancestry with whatever came before, like a proto dog, or I guess gray wolf. Sorry.
So everything in Carnivora shares ancestry for sure, but hyenas and lions share like way more recent ancestry. Is what I'm trying to get at. Whereas like dogs, bears, seals, raccoons, those are all caniforms because they have that long snout.
Yeah, I found out that raccoons are related to dogs, and I was like, that makes sense, but it also bothers me.
Like way back, I would think. They're not like super related. But yeah, it does kind of.
It's weird.
They're kind of just little bears. That's what I call them, trash pandas.
Somewhere in Asia has like a raccoon dog, right? Like that's an animal?
South America has a raccoon dog. Also, he's right. Raccoon dogs are from Asia, not South America. I was tripping. So anyway, I was wrong.
Yeah.
And then the red pandas are kind of like dog, bear, panda things.
They're cute as shit.
They really are, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, getting into the weeds there, but
get weedier.
Get weedier. Yeah, seals, like the way they look like dogs, and like we call them like, sea
Water
puppies
dogs.
or whatever. Water dogs. There you go. Like they legitimately are a wolf, but like adapted to, or a wolf or a bear type thing, but with flippers and blubber.
So do seals have the same as, because I know dolphins and like killer whales and stuff and just regular whales, they came from the same ancestry of a bear, right? Like way back when, right?
It's like a hippo-like thing.
A hippo-like thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wait. Whales were a hippo-like thing. I assume dolphins then too. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. And seals not related to that at all?
Seals are, I can tell you just thinking about it right now, but I wouldn't say for sure. They're not in the line that cetaceans became, like dolphins and whales. but they were probably a more recent carnivore, like a bear or dog type thing that went aquatic.
Okay.
I'd have to look that up. Those are called pinnipeds,
I'll take your word for it.
I think. And like the seal walrus kind of family, like they're all that. But yeah, non-retractable claws is what caniforms are, and the snout. And then retractable claws and like the shorter snout is a feliform kind of thing.
Good to know.
And they
I'm
usually
learning
have
so
like
much.
a smelly. Yeah, this is stuff that like I just nerd out on and think about a lot.
Good. I love it.
So like what's dog walking like?
It's pretty fine. There's a place in Ottawa that's like it's probably like 100 acres and it's all fenced in and people go there. I also I live next to a farm and my farmer, the neighbor, is like, yeah, if you want to walk your dogs in he's got a pit where he just digs for gravel, not gravel, sand.
Okay.
And I go there a lot, but there's a lot of coyotes there and like foxes and stuff. And my dog really likes to get into it with coyotes.
Okay.
So I try not to go there. I try to go to the more populated places. But yeah, it's pretty easy. I find that walking dogs in a pack is a lot easier than if you have like one or two, because they kind of just, I don't know, they stick together. They do what everybody else is doing, like monkey see, monkey do. Like nobody's really taken off unless they do see deer or coyotes or foxes. Like I know I lost my dog because he found a foxhole and I couldn't find him. Turns out he was like 20 feet to my right in the foxhole, like pissing off the foxes. And I was like, buddy, that's not very nice. They're pretty cute.
So you're saying like when you have them all like together on a leash, you're like a
I
big
walk them
harness
off
type
leash.
thing? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm a big off leash kind of guy. But
Like even like around town or just when you...
designated off leash places. I'm always on leash if there's people around and stuff. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Or if I'm in the absolute middle of the forest in the middle of nowhere, then I'll let my dog go off leash because I know nobody's around.
Hell yeah. I've done that before and paid the price.
Yeah.
Like no one for it was the day Trump gave us like the day off because of, I think it was Bush's funeral or something. Random day off. So I was like, I'll go to the woods.
Heck yeah.
When I was working in Georgia, and for like 2 hours, no one on the bike trail at all. And then as I was walking back to the car, this dude just comes flying down on a bike and my dog just took off after him. And I was like,
oh man.
And he in the guy's defense, like being in the woods, not thinking anyone's in there, and then just seeing my giant dog with a vest on, he looks like a fascist. It's like, would have been,
it looks like he's about to kill Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, literally. Because I always, when I'm out, especially out here, I keep his harness on, or his vest on, because I don't want him just like getting shot by some hunter.
That's absolutely valid. Yeah, I was walking in my neighbor's yard, and I've got a Samoyed and a Poodle that I was walking at the time, and the son comes up to me and he's like, "Oh, buddy, you got to wear like an orange hat or something." And I was like, "Oh, why?" He's like, "It's turkey season, buddy. I thought your dog was a turkey or something." And I was like, "They're white. Like, what the fuck do you think a turkey looks like?" I obviously didn't say that. I just apologized immediately, but
sure. Yeah. I want to ask Poodles too, but what are Samoyeds like?
Have you ever met like a 7 or 8 year old that just got like a candy high?
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
One.
Yeah. So that, but give them cocaine.
Okay.
I think I have an outlier. My dog's pretty lazy. He does bark a lot, but he's not very vocal like other Samoyeds or Samoyed. But I know a few other Samis that are very, very vocal. And like my hairdresser owns a Samoyed as well. And whenever he sees me, he's like, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They do absolutely love being outside regardless of the temperature. This is like pretty much across the board. Like I have videos of my dog just laying out in the sun, and then the shadow will come from the house, and then he'll get up and go more into the sun. And it's like plus 30 degrees outside, or like 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm like, dude, like what's wrong with you?
And they're like sled dogs, right? Or some kind of Arctic dog?
So they're called sledge dogs. Okay, whatever that is. But I went to, the Iditarod? Yeah, so I went to Alaska and I met a bunch of Iditarod racers, and I was like, so you guys use like a lot of Alaskan Huskies, right? Do you ever use Samoyeds? And they all laughed and like, no, they're really slow dogs. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll take that to the chin.
Was that for like a video or something, or you just went?
I went on a cruise. I did do a video about it though. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Another show I've always thought of too would be like going to different indigenous or like really remote communities around the world that still use dogs for like sustenance and stuff.
Dude, if you need somebody to film that, I'm there. I've got a nice camera.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like it could be like a good like buddy cop fucking show too.
I'd be
like the hosts.
so down. Even if you wanted to go to like Siberia when Russia stops being assholes, we could just go, because dogs were domesticated in Siberia, right?
Yes. You listened.
Let's go. You see it? I got you. I got you.
Nice.
Yeah, let's go there. Preferably in like the fall when there's no mosquitoes and no snow.
Dude, the mosquitoes up there are supposed to be crazy.
Yeah. I mean, even in like, if I go like 4 hours north in Canada, the mosquitoes are disgusting. And the black flies and like the horse flies. I can't imagine Wyoming's much better.
It's very, where I'm at is like high desert. So it's very dry and not a lot of that. But in the summer, the mosquitoes around the rivers are insane.
Do you get a lot of glacial runoff like rivers?
I think most of Wyoming is that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right.
Like, because it's high up and the tributaries and stuff. Geology is not my forte. Someone's probably screaming right now, but I think that's the thing. Another thing I should have taken, that I took astronomy as like my gen ed science, because I was like, oh, the Maya are cool. They like astronomy. That's archaeological.
The Mayans are cool.
Then they're super cool.
Yeah.
But then I was like measuring the speed of light, like with this little gadget in a lab, and I had no idea how to convert all the units. And I was like, this is a terrible mistake. Should have taken geology.
Yeah.
Anyway, poodles. I was going to ask you about them. I've never interacted with a poodle personally, I don't think.
Yeah, I think poodles are pretty different across the board. My poodle is the laziest dog. I mean, my mom's poodle is the laziest dog I've ever met. She sleeps probably like 15 hours a day. She literally, like, I could leave the door open and have a bag of treats outside. And she's like, yeah, dog, I'm staying on the couch. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But I think, because I make a lot of jokes that poodles hate kids. And I think that kind of is true across the board, that poodles don't really like kids. And I don't know if that's a kid problem or a poodle problem. I've met kids. I understand it. They're kind of annoying. Like, but my niece is 4 years old and she goes up to my poodle all the time and she's super chill with her. But I'm always just like, let's not touch the poodle that hates you, probably.
At my dog, and he had his vest on and a muzzle, and actually he didn't have his muzzle on, and then it was a different time. But the mom like yeeted her kid, like grabbed her by the arm, like probably to the point where it hurt the kid, and she was like, "We don't run up on German Shepherds." And I like looked at the mom and did that like meme. What's up? Yeah. I was like, "Yeah, you know, you're raising the kid right." Yeah. Thought that was always fun, but yeah, not fun. It was funny to me.
In hindsight,
poodles though are like, in hindsight, are super smart, right? They're like border collies and shepherds and poodles are like the three. Yeah.
I mean, whenever we do pack walks, and usually it's my dog Thor that's like going off doing his own thing. If I ever call him like 2 or 3 times more than I need to, Piper, the poodle, will literally go grab him by the neck and pull him back. Yo. It's pretty sick. I'm like, oh shit. And she also can open doors. It's insanely frustrating. Because she'll just go open a door and then she'll go to my neighbor's yard and just shit. And I'm like, bro, like, what are you doing?
She just does it to shit in another person's yard?
Yeah, I think she has like a little crush because my neighbor has 2 golden retrievers and they're really, really sweet. So she just goes over, like says, what's up? And then it's like, yeah, what's up? I'm going to shit on your yard right now. And I'm like, thanks.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, Pipes.
I mean, I wish we could do that.
Yeah. I mean, we can. We just probably get in trouble.
Be shunned.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're really smart. Are they hard to train?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Interesting.
I mean, I guess every dog's different, right? But from what I've seen, because I take care of another poodle called Reggie, and he is not neutered, and he's like kind of aggressive, but as soon as you tell him no, he's like, okay, yeah, I'm listening to you. What's up? Oh, anything? Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Okay. That's really cool. Your dogs like correct each other in that sense.
It is. It's also annoying because I do think Piper bullies Thor a little bit more than he needs to be bullied. Because he's an idiot and doesn't listen every once in a while. But Piper's also just like, oh, I'm excited. I'm going to take it out on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And which ones are yours? Sorry, I want to double check.
Just Thor is mine, the Samoyed.
Just Thor.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about Thor.
He is 6 years old. He just turned 6 this year. He is the love of my life and my best friend. He's got a lot of fur, sheds all the time. He's missing an eye. He's got glaucoma.
Oh.
Yeah, so he'll be probably fully blind by next year.
So he's more like Odin.
Yes. So I didn't name him, which I'm kind of mad. Well, I mean, I wouldn't have known he was going to go blind anyway, because I got him. He was a client, and they said that he barked too much. And so they were going to just throw him on Craigslist and be done with it. And I was like, no, don't put a dog on Craigslist, please. I'll take him. And I took him to Toronto with me. And when I was going to school there, and he was a good time. And then school got busy, and then COVID happened. And so I moved in with my mom, and shit's good. He can still see pretty well. He's got a pretty high kill count. He's killed a couple gophers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And that's with a missing eye.
That goes hard, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. And a lot of people go, oh my God, a pirate dog.
That's super cool. Yeah. Does he shed a lot?
Oh, so much.
I don't think I've ever seen one. Okay.
Yeah, just imagine a polar bear, but with longer fur and smaller.
White fur everywhere.
Just white everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of dog did you have growing up?
I had 2 half chow, half retrievers, Daner and Sandy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Daner?
Daner. I know. I think somebody else named the dog Daner, and we were just like, yeah, sure. We'll name our dog Daner as well.
It sounds like somebody from Boston trying to say Dana.
My mom's from Boston.
Okay. Oh, nice.
So yeah, my whole family sounds like that. It's pretty fun. I like it a lot. It's always a good time. There's always a lot of yelling when we have family get-togethers.
Yeah. Good Northeastern, family time.
Yeah, you're from New York, so I'm sure your family probably sounds like that too, eh?
Deep cut, dude. Yeah, I am from New York. Also, you just said A. That's kind of cool.
Oh, did I? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. Canadian slipping out. I've known a lot of Canadians, great people.
Yeah, we're okay.
Okay, so what kind of dogs were they?
Half chow, half retriever, golden retriever.
What is that like? Because chow chows are small, right?
They honestly looked like, so Daner was the boy. He looked like an Irish wolfhound, but just like small and kind of golden because he had that kind of scruff to him that the Irish wolfhounds have. Sandy just looked like a pretty fat golden retriever. She lived with my Oma up in Quebec. And so she just got real fat from table scraps. Yeah. And then we took her in when my Oma died and she was like, oh shit, my mom was like, oh, we got to make this dog lose a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And we did.
What is an Oma? I'm assuming grandma.
Oh, it's a grandma in Dutch or German. My grandparents were German.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wunderbar. That's cool. That's all I know. Well,
same. I know Ach du lieber Gott. I think that means oh my God. I think so.
Okay. That's a hard one. I always thought German was interesting. Okay, so you had those 2 dogs, and then did you have anything in between then till now?
So I had those 2 dogs. They died when I was in college. We put them down when they were like 16. And then I think like 2 or 3 years later, we got the poodle. And then I went to school in Toronto. And then the last year I was in Toronto, I got Thor. And so, there was like 2 years where we didn't have a dog, but we did foster and like board dogs still. And so we fostered these 2 little long-haired Chihuahuas, brother and sister. Super cute. We fostered them for like 6 months. And so we had those guys for a while. And then, random dogs here and there that we would take care of for like a week here, week there.
Yeah. Okay. And are you the type, I'm grilling you with the questions again. We can go back to anything else, fine. But are you the type of guy like at a party to go hang out with the dog?
Oh yeah. every single time.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I usually have the parties at my house because I've got a big property. And so
Okay.
I usually will just be like, hey, bring your dogs. It's going to be a party. All the dogs are going to be out. It's going to be sick.
Nice.
Speaking of.
Oh, there he is.
That's the tree walking coon hound.
Okay. I bet she's loud. He's loud.
Oh my God. He is so loud. It's absolutely insane. And I also have my neighbor 2 houses down has a beagle, and I can hear it as if it's like in my backyard because it's so loud. It's insane. But they're super
cute. I saw this on TV that like beagles have like a certain like thing in their throat that allows for that like super big bellow to come out.
Oh, really?
I don't know if that's true or not, but I would believe it because it's such a piercing, unique sound like a hound makes.
He's got the exact same thing, and it's it's. I feel bad for the people he yells at when they walk like in front of my house because you can 100% hear it from the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's sick. I know if there's ever an intruder, that's going to be the first thing I hear in the middle of the night.
Oh, no.
And it'll wake me up.
I think one of the first videos I saw of you too, or like once I followed you on TikTok.
Was it the robber ones?
On Instagram. Yes. Where the end of it's like the Malinois. He like closes the door or something. Or is it a shepherd?
I did one where the German Shepherd like cocks a gun and he's basically like run and there's like boss music playing. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's a good one too. I like the robber ones.
That was super creative. That was like super viral too. I remember.
Yeah, that was.
What's it? So like, what was your first one to like go viral?
So I hopped on TikTok right when it became TikTok because me and my roommates in college, all we would do after like school or after class was done, we just get really high and sit on our couch and just watch YouTube videos of like TikTok compilations. And it was like right when TikTok became a thing. And so it was all just like the little trolls just got their hands on it and were just like trolling everywhere. And it was hilarious. And so we would just be like, oh, dude, this is hilarious. We got to get a part of this. And so we started doing it too. And then I just kind of grew pretty gradually over the course of like 2 years. I got from like 0 to like 300K. And so every once in a while, a video would get like 1 million views. And like people from my school would be like, oh, yo, I watched your video last night. That was so funny, blah, 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 blah. But it wasn't until after COVID, I posted the If Dog Breeds Were People. And that got like 26 million views, like 30 million views, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I just kept doing that for a while. And then I transitioned from If Dog Breeds Were People to the dogs doing robbers. And then God Makes Dog Breeds. And then now I'm workshopping with a new thing. It's called What's This Dog? And I basically go over like, do you know like Casually Explained?
Yes, I know that one.
It's very much in the same vein as that.
Okay.
But it's basically just me being really sarcastic and kind of an ass and explaining dogs. I can send you. I have one. I don't know if you want me to send it right now, but I can.
Sure.
Okay. I did one for Samoyeds, and then I'm doing one for Poodles next. And then I can do one for German Shepherds if you really like.
I'm down.
Also, because I asked you in your story if Salukis are just gay greyhounds. Because I do think they are. But I know absolutely
gay
nothing
greyhounds?
about it. Just greyhounds in general. Like they got to be related, right?
Oh, I thought you said gay greyhounds. I was like,
I did.
Okay.
I did. I don't know if you ever seen it. That's a deep cut from Glee.
Oh, no, I didn't.
There's a character in Glee that calls dolphins gay sharks.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so that was the joke, but
the flowy like hair that greyhounds don't. It's kind of fab.
Yeah.
What was your question? Oh yeah, the greyhounds. I should have looked that up. I think I told you I would look it up and I didn't. I know they're like super related, but I just know in like Rome and the Mediterranean world, like you showed status through your dogs.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if you've been to Rome, but there's like
no, I'm going in April.
Dog statues. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Dude, the carbonara there is insane. It's
what?
like apparently like carbonara. It's like a type of pasta.
Oh, okay.
That's like it's made with guanciale. It's like
obviously
like bacon.
I know what that is too.
Anyway, Rome's like known for like when you ask Italians what's your favorite pasta, they say carbonara. So like, if you're in Rome, just try it. Yeah. Anyway, back to that. The Greyhound statues like all over the place, and then of course like Romulus and Remus are all over the place. And
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I don't remember if the wolf has a name. I just know it's the Capitoline wolf is what they call it. But
yeah, I think it does have a name. I feel like I watched something or other or heard a podcast.
It must.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out. Probably just Mother. I don't know.
Sure. Let's go with that.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll look into that. But you just sent me your thing. So let me read this real quick.
Welcome to What's This Dog? Today you're looking at a dog that is whiter than the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It has more ass than David Beckham riding a donkey. This is the Samoyed, also known as Samoyed if you're a tryhard. They come from the frosty regions of northern future Ukraine. Traditionally bred to herd reindeer by nomadic
Yeah, I don't know if I can keep that
This dog nowadays can be found missing one or both of its eyes. Yeah, we bred glaucoma into them and they can't even smoke weed to fix it. What a scam. A Samoyed's personality is akin to the feeling of waking up for school only to learn that it's a snow day, and then doing a bunch of cocaine and screaming at God. As a Samoyed owner, I have put together an extensive list of people that will come up to you and compliment your dog.
Dude, this is solid.
If you're like me, you'll see this dog and think to yourself, well, there's absolutely zero way that I'm spending that much money on an oversized fluff ball. But once you walk around outside with them, you'll realize that the attention from strangers you get outweighs the need to pay your hydro bill that month. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, dogs can't look up.
Dude, I love it.
Thanks,
Continue with that format.
All right, sick. I'm taking that as gospel. If any of them fail, I am blaming you.
Okay, please do. Yeah, like that. It's something I've noticed with like, I don't know if it's like a Gen Z thing or just TikTok or just how social media is now, but the quick cuts and like the funny, like when you have the donkey like pull up and stuff, it keeps people's attention because I have terrible attention.
Yeah. So. Well, especially because I find it's not like tough, but like a lot of my audience is like English is not their first language, or it's all kids. Like it's all like 15 and under. Like most of the people that come up to me at like Comic-Cons and stuff are like 12 years old. And I don't go to Comic-Cons like as a, like I go to buy comic books.
I was like, damn.
I literally just drop like $1,000 on comic books every single time I go to a Comic-Con.
Respect.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. But yeah, so I have to either go like really slow and like really enunciate my words because I know there's a lot of European people listening to me that don't speak English as well as I do. Or I'm like catering to the 12-year-olds that are just so ADHD that they can't, like, if I am boring for 0.5 seconds, they're not going to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's balancing.
And yeah, having the subtitles like flying or the captions over it too seems to really help.
Yeah, I hate that I have to do that, but here we are.
Yeah. I have a friend who's like, she's deaf, or I think deaf plus is what she calls herself. But like she does archaeology content all with like sign.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Because of that, I got really into doing captions because like I should do it. And just like it's, helps people.
Yeah.
But then also I realized I pay attention way more when I can read the stuff on the screen
too. Yeah.
Even on TV too. Some friends are like, dude, turn the subtitles off. I'm like, no. Like
I don't like people that say that. Like if you can't read with subtitles on, it's okay. I get it. If you're like the biggest cinematographer in the world, like if you're Roger Deakins or whatever his name is, and you're like, turn the subtitles off. It's distracting. I want to watch the beautiful scenery. It's like, okay, I get that. But also I'm probably not going to hang out with you.
Yeah. I think, TV shows I put subtitles on just because, especially like Tarantino too. Like as Inglourious Bastards, there's subtitles for most of the movie. And dude, it's like, I think that's my favorite movie.
You also like miss a lot without subtitles. Because I'm like, what did you just say? I missed that. But the subtitles, it's right there. I just read that. Okay.
Yeah, because sometimes it's mumbly, sometimes it's not. But then also someone like Tarantino who's like, dialogue is his thing. Mm-hmm. I want to make sure I'm getting all of it and soaking it in.
Wasn't there a movie very recently where everybody was like, yo, what's up with that sound? Like I couldn't hear any of it. I want to say it was Christopher Nolan. Does that ring a bell?
I know the Game of Thrones episode was too dark.
Yeah. Yep.
The sound, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name of the movie though.
Yeah, neither can I. And I know I watched it and I was like, I had a hard time hearing that, but I also play drums with like no ear protection. So that could just be very on me. But no, it's a general consensus. Jesus Christ.
And you said you do like media and film, like that was your thing before?
Yeah. So
content
I
creation?
studied film and media production, and I did like very few commercials for, I mean, I don't know if you have this, but RBC and like Loblaws, I'm pretty sure those are just strictly Canadian. Yeah, it's the Royal Bank of Canada.
I know Loblaw.
Okay, you know Loblaws. Okay. Yeah, so I did a few commercials for them as like a PA, absolute bottom of the barrel, but it was still a good time.
Yeah.
I did a couple short films, and then I started doing wedding videography and real estate photography, and that was like my main thing for a really long time. And then I quit that because I was making more money doing YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. When I started making content, I did like Skillshare. It was like 2018.
Okay.
And I like would work all day, come home, and I was like, how to use a camera. And then, because I knew how to use my phone camera and stuff, but like the aperture and the, lens at the same time, I just put on auto at this point, but I got an A7 III and it just kind of does the job on auto.
I've got an A7C.
Hell yeah. I don't know what that one is.
But it's
bigger, fancier or something?
less fancy. You have the nicer camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
As soon as I got this one, the A7S or something came out that was like way better. And also it only records for 30 minutes at a time, which I got to keep clicking. So
that's the reason I got the A7C is because it doesn't have that 30-minute recording.
Okay.
But again, you still have the nicer camera, so don't feel bad about it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, I tried to like, learn all that because I wanted to do videography and do those cool like Daniel Schiffer like quick cuts and what's the other guy? Peter Lindgren. He's pretty good with that.
I always think of Edgar Wright. With the
Edgar Wright.
Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, I just meant like YouTubers, but yeah, that.
Oh, yes, okay. Peter
cinematographers.
Is that who
Peter McKinnon's really good at that too?
Yeah. He's Canadian.
Oh yeah, he is Canadian.
Yeah.
I remember that.
He's from Toronto though,
right?
so it's tough.
Is there like beef?
Everybody in Canada hates two places. This is a joke, by the way. Nobody actually means this, but everybody in Canada hates Quebec and hates Toronto. We don't. This is a joke, but we hate Canada. Or I mean, we hate Toronto and we hate Quebec. We don't.
Okay.
I think people hate Toronto a lot more than they hate Quebec. Just because, I don't know, it's like our New York City. Most of the people are from Toronto and everybody's like, oh, if it's not happening in Toronto, it doesn't count. And everybody's like, oh, we exist everywhere else. And like, I'll tell people I'm from Ottawa and they're like, oh, I've only ever heard of Toronto. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Of course you have.
I did not know about this Canadian beef or Canadian bacon. It's pretty cool. All right. So I don't want to keep boring the audience with media stuff, but I nerd out on it. So you like the thing you just sent me, you're doing all that yourself, like recording, editing, producing. Okay. Respect.
Yeah.
So a lot of people get like an editor and stuff at this point, and like,
yeah, I've thought about it.
It's a lot of work,
but it is a lot of work, but it's also like, I don't know, that's my downtime. Like that's fun to me. And it's also like, it's a weird, like narcissistic thing where I'm just like, I know what makes me funny and I don't know if other people know what makes me funny.
Yes, dude. Like with the cuts and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause okay, good. I felt alone in that, I guess, but now I don't.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty common feeling.
Okay.
Cause it's like the writer being the director for a movie as well. Like it's all in their head. You just got to kind of trust them.
Neat. Okay. So you love doing that. It seems like pretty clearly. Sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, this, cause it's, I'm sure you get this too. Like you'll come up with a video idea and be like, this is fucking good. I'm so stoked for this. You post it, 2 likes and you're like, oh fuck, what really guys? Like I worked so hard on this. And then you'll make a video like the one that you said where with the muffin and the dog and where I'm dancing, that took like 2 seconds. And that's my most viewed video.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I can do like edit it, put like animations over it, like make color grade it, do like all sorts of stuff, write, research it, and it will get like 800 views on my YouTube for like no reason.
Yeah.
And then on TikTok or Instagram, I can make a like little video meme thing, cutout meme while taking a shit. And then most of them are made that way. And then I post it and it has like hundreds of thousands of views within a day.
Yeah. Do you post shorts as well?
I need to.
You need to, dude.
I think. Yeah.
I think
it has to be under a minute though, right?
That's the worst part is getting it under, because even the video I sent you, that was originally like 1 minute and 4 seconds, and I had a pain in the ass time trying to get that down to like 59 seconds, because even if it's like 59.30, it'll think that it's 1 minute and 1 second long, and it doesn't become a short. And I've accidentally done that before, where I just post like
I have too.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
Do shorts, like I know my like ad revenue thing, CPM or whatever, do shorts really pay out that well?
If you're posting enough and they're getting enough views, I mean, it really depends on like which video, but on average, I would say my shorts get around 2 to 3 million views per. And I don't know. I don't know any other YouTubers that make their money off long form content. So I don't have anybody to like bounce back and forth and ask them. But yeah, for me, shorts is literally my entire living, and I'm doing pretty well.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I need to do that too.
I think so. Because you probably have like a couple hundred or 100 videos on like your backlog that you've posted on Instagram that you can just transfer over, right?
Yeah. They're probably more than 1 minute long, but I can cut them down.
You could also like, it sucks now because you can't link part 2 in your comments anymore, because you used to be able to be like, oh, here's part 2. Go click this.
Okay.
But YouTube got rid of that. And I'm like, really? That sucks.
Yeah.
But you could just split them. I've watched a lot of videos where it's just scenes of movies on like YouTube Shorts, and then it just ends. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm not going to get the satisfaction, and I'm not going to Google the rest of the scene. You're on to the next thing.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. YouTube Shorts are like, I don't know if I explained this to somebody else on the podcast, but I'll say it again anyway. On TikTok, I'll like scroll and I'll see something interesting, like a cooking video, and they're like, brown rice has like a less glycemic index than this. And I'm like, wait, why is that? And then I'll leave TikTok and like Google something for 2 hours. And then on Instagram, I end up talking to someone in my messages or just signing off. But YouTube Shorts, for whatever reason, just like I'll scroll, and that's the only time I'm ever like, I need to stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
the doom scroll is real.
Like it is, dude. And I think it's because like on YouTube Shorts, at least mine, they're more like science based or something. I don't like know.
Mine are all pretty much history.
Okay, yeah, history too.
Like I've been recently getting into I can't remember his name, History March maybe, but he just does like reenactments of battles from ancient times and stuff. And so it's a lot of, you'll just see like the armies and they go at each other.
Okay.
It's sick. I love it. I'm all about it because I play a lot of Bannerlords too.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have not played that, but I've watched people play it.
It's so good, man. It's so much fun.
You're like commanding like armies, right?
Yeah.
That's like what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You should check out Baz Battles.
Battles.
Invicta? No, not Invicta. There's somebody else. Kings and Generals. That's them. They've done like, they do like real war breakdowns with animations and stuff, but they also do like all the wars in Westeros and shit. And the way they explain it, it's so cool. Like
That's
Robert's
sick.
Rebellion, 20 minutes animated map was insane.
Oh, dude, that's nuts. I just finished watching the Crusades. Crusades 1, 2, and 3. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. Both sides suck ass. I was like, shit, yo, my people are terrible. Fuck.
Crusades were like a mess, to say the least.
Yeah, it's just like, guys, you're going so far. Just relax, guys. We need the king in France. Let's calm down.
Yeah, dude, King Richard, I read too, that only spent I think like 6 months of his entire reign in England. The rest of it was like in France or Jerusalem.
Jesus.
Yeah, because they were just all about it.
Yeah. Well, there was one siege that was like 8 months long, and I was like, guys, the ocean's right there. Just go home. Like, fuck. Like, jeez, guys.
Then they all brought back like spices and stuff, and they're like, hey, we want more of this. And then Columbus happened, and it snowballed from there.
Classic Columbus.
Yeah,
just ruining
interesting character, to say the least.
Not my top 10.
Not your top 10 favorite people?
Nah.
I think most people would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing too. I read this. I haven't been able to like find it again, like where it was in some book, like an obscure random paragraph. But like when the Spaniards got to the Americas, like, and there was like the debate of were the indigenous like humans, or like, do we baptize them? Like, what do we, or, convert them? They were like, well, they do have dogs. So like, I guess they are
can't
people.
be that bad.
And it's one of those things that I was like, huh. It's just so weird.
Yeah.
And then the Pope had to literally decree that they're human. It's like crazy.
Did he actually? Jesus Christ.
I can't remember the edict, but it was essentially like
Edict. That's a good word.
Yeah, like popes like make edicts or something. It's like basically the Pope tweeted back in the day. But he basically said like, yeah, they're human and you need to convert them, like kind of thing. And they're able to be converted or something.
And then everyone was like, oh no, like 90% of them just died. Whoops.
Yeah. And then it outsource.
Yeah. Did I do that?
Yeah. Smallpox.
Yeah.
Nope. Did I do that?
Whoops.
What to you makes what makes good content?
Oh, good question.
As someone who makes clearly good content.
Oh man. I don't know. Cause it's like, sometimes I'll watch a video and it's like, oh, if you've got something to say and like you can say it in a funny way, like that's amazing. But I'm also like, oh, I've laughed at the stupidest dick jokes, like harder than I've laughed at anything else. So I think it's a toss up. It could be, I think it's subjective because I don't know. I don't like when I watch my shit back, I'm kind of just like, oh, that wasn't that funny. Like I could have done better.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, I'm aware that some people, my type of humor, that's exactly what they love. And so like, do you know Jeff R. Curry?
No.
He's a comedian. He's pretty new, but he's probably one of my favorite comedians just because he's so silly. Like he's just very goofy and has a good time with everything. And
okay. I have seen this guy.
He's awesome. I've seen him a couple times in New York City and in Boston.
Okay.
I lost my train of thought. Something about
totally fine.
It's a catch-22. I don't know. It could be it's whatever you're into is man, what a shit show. My words are not making sense right now.
You're fine. I put you on the spot too.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I don't know. It depends on what you like. For me, I really enjoy like back and forth banter. Like a lot of the skits that are just like, usually it's the same guy and he's just playing two different characters. That's usually like what my Instagram feed is like. It's just a lot of comedy sketches like that. I like that.
Yeah.
I know some people much prefer like a guy just sitting down talking in front of the screen for an hour.
Right.
Yeah. I think it kind of depends.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
The two people talking to each other thing is definitely a TikTok invention, or at least like a vertical screen.
Yeah.
Thing
I mean,
that I've noticed over the years.
I kind of got it from, like pitch meetings on YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah. That's my God videos are like basically stolen and I kind of feel bad, but it's fine. But I'm very inspired for my God videos by pitch meetings. I think those are peak cinema.
Like the how it should have ended ones. I think that's or bad pitch meeting.
Pitch meetings is Ryan George, and it's just him playing a producer and playing a screenwriter, and they just go through and pitch a movie. But how it should have ended is also really good.
Okay, is it the same guy?
No.
Oh right, yeah, the like pitch meeting. Okay, I know that was with the big eyes and the thumbnail.
Yeah. And he's Canadian.
I know them. Is he?
Yeah, I think he's Quebecois.
Does that make him like more elite or something, or is it just?
He speaks French, so he's definitely better than me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you because you're interested in taking the class? I still got to figure all that out.
Yeah.
What questions do you have about dogs, or like what's something you learned in the lecture that you like wanted to nerd out on?
I'm big on like. I'm aware we domesticated dogs in Siberia or domesticated wolves in Siberia. And I'm aware that there were like a few different breeds in Mesopotamia. That huge gap is always super interesting to me because I'm like, what happened? How did dogs go from wolves? Did we accidentally breed like a really sleek and fast dog, or did we do that on purpose? Why does one dog from Afghanistan have really long, flowy hair, like an Afghan hound? And why does the other one look like a dying rat?
Shout out Deadpool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Like dogs for the most part from like 20,000 years when they were like domesticated. I think they were all around long before that too. It's just like their genetic signature that matches up with modern dogs is about 20,000 years old.
Okay.
But there is probably still wolves that were like acting dog-like.
Okay.
And then their skeletons are hard to tell. But so for like 20 to 10,000 years, it's probably more like a wolf type dingo standard yellow dog looking thing.
Okay.
Probably gray and yellow. And then, like once agriculture takes off and like people are trading, and then you got the Indo-European expansion and stuff, there's like dogs are like a tool, right? Like a biotechnology. So your culture and your tools are always going to reflect your environment or like whatever needs they have like in that environment. So like where am I going with this? There's like the dogs that just scavenge around camp, and like those are the Indian pariah dogs. I think they're just standard yellow looking dogs that scavenge.
I take care of one.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Like a pariah dog for sure.
Yep. Yeah.
Whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Sick. And then there's like dogs that are specifically bred for like as a tool or like a hunting aid or a herding aid and stuff like that. And that definitely takes off around that time. Like you can see it in their skeletons. But that big 10,000 year gap, I don't much know like what they would have looked like, or if that was your question.
Yeah, that's basically my question. Because I'm just like, did we invent a greyhound before or after we invented agriculture?
Oh, okay.
Probably before, because they were hunting dogs. So I guess my question would be like, what's that dog? The molasses, that huge ancient dog breed from the Mediterranean.
Oh, Molossian Hound.
Yeah, that. Like, when did that come about, and how did it go extinct? What dog's closest to it? Those kind of things.
Somebody just commented on my post the other day about that.
Oh, really?
Alexander the Great had one. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They like released them in battle and stuff.
Yeah, that's another thing that I would love to know more about, is the use of dogs in ancient warfare. Because I know we used a lot of dogs in like World War I and II and stuff. And that's pretty easily accessible. But in the ancient stuff, like Marco Polo meeting a bunch of chow chows, like that's sick.
He was like, hey guys, check these dogs out.
Dude.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know too much. I know they were used. Like I know that there's good accounts of the Spanish bringing their war dogs here, the English too, like their hunting dogs and stuff. But then this is like controversial to some people. Like they're like, no, dogs were always like just scavengers. And I'm like, well, they a lot of times were like straight up protection. Like it's like what they would have been, because you have a giant machine that scares off other predators and bites things that you would want to capitalize on that.
Yeah, 100%.
So like in tribal warfare back then, or like small village warfare, I'm sure the dogs just like came into, and they could tell you're not of that group and would have attacked too. But I mean, there's certainly war dogs in the classical Mediterranean. I can't like name anything off the top of my head, but I know there's like illustrations of it, and there's like writing of it. But the Middle Ages too, I don't know. Like I guess they like Ramsay Bolton's dogs, I guess, but those are like
those are like Rottweilers though, weren't they?
Yeah, kind of like a tech.
Oh, one was a Cane Corso, right?
Ooh, I would have thought they were Rottweilers. I don't know.
I don't know. They were dogs, big dogs.
It was dark. Yeah, that's a good question too. I'm gonna write that down.
Get fucked, Ramsay Bolton. Piece of shit.
Yeah, dude, that guy sucked.
He's such a good actor though.
Dude, yeah, him and Joffrey both killed it because you hated them so much. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also good use of dogs in the show. And then, well, not good. There was a use of dogs. But then the Hound, too, is like their shield and crest is dogs. That's why they call him the Hound.
I never put that together.
Yeah. And his whole character arc, too. Like, he's loyal, and he, like, attaches himself to the Starks. Like, he feels bad for Sansa and Arya, and he helps them, kind of thing. So I always kind of thought that was like neat. He's like a loyal and protective, which is like a dog quality.
Just big and grumpy.
Yeah, and a burned face.
Yeah.
War dogs, and then
what kind of dogs did the Spanish use?
Also big mastiffs.
Yeah,
I think.
Okay. Is it usually mastiffs that were in wars?
It seems to be the case, if that's the case, because the Molossian Hound would have been
those
3,000 years before it, so probably stayed the same.
So I have read the anthology. It's somewhere in my bookshelf of Salukis, and they said that those are the first domestic dog breed. Thoughts, comments, questions, concerns?
I've heard like varying degrees of things. Like
Same.
I've heard that, but the main one I always hear is like the Chow and the Shar-Pei.
The Han
like,
dog?
Han dog.
From the Han dynasty.
Han dog. Sounds like hot dog. Let's see. Oh, okay.
That's I think that's progenitor to the Shar-Pei and the Chow Chow.
To those.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. Chow Chow, Shar-Pei, Carolina dog pops up. Those are, I think, in the old genetic studies, like when I was in college, those are like the oldest breeds.
Okay.
Or at least have some of the most ancient DNA. But that might have changed in the last 10, 12 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, I saw some article, I don't know if it's reputable or not, but somebody was like the Greenland ice dog, or no, the Greenland sled dog or something or other. Something Greenland dog.
Yeah.
They said that those dogs were like 9,000, 10,000 years old. And I was like, were people in Greenland 9,000 years ago?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Actually, don't quote me on that. I don't know if they were specifically
That's
in
too
Greenland
late. I already
that far,
tweeted it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But I know they were like that whole Alaska Arctic thing. They were all up there.
Oh, they're probably all
going
connected
across
to like 10,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it just snow. And then there's like theories too, like dogs with sledges, which is just like a sled without. I don't know either. It's just like something that drags, I think is what a sledge means.
Yeah, I think it's just a sled, but instead of people, it's stuff.
That's a good point.
I don't know.
Might be right. It's a quick Google, I guess. But
Don't quote me on that, please.
Dogs were used to like for hauling with those all the time.
Yeah.
So like we're like the way Paleo Indians came here and peopled the Americas, like they did it so quickly. Were they using sled dogs or something to carry all that stuff?
Yeah.
No way to tell. But I know they were going across Canada pretty fast too. I'd have to look at the Greenland thing. Also, one last correction here. I don't know how long Greenland's been occupied. I haven't looked into the like in-depth research. I know like a quick Google search says 4,500 years ago. I feel like it's probably longer than that. I was implying here that Paleo Indians got there. I take that with a grain of salt. I don't know of any evidence of that, so that might be wrong. But yeah, the Thule culture got there about 1,000 years ago, and that's really all you need to know. But yes, that Greenland dog is one of the oldest dogs in the Americas that's like untainted by European dog DNA or Western dog DNA.
Is this Sholo? Has it got some European blood in it as well?
So according to a 2017 study, I think it was 2020 study, all the dogs that are like indigenous to the Americas are now like mostly European because of just so much admixture, which to me, I'm not sure how that makes sense in terms of like the Xolo and the Chihuahua. I guess it just means they like bred and then they like, oh, I want it to look more like a Chihuahua again, and then went back. Like it turned into something else.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Which would muddle the DNA like that.
Yeah. So
that's got to be it. But yeah, like the Xolo and the Chihuahua are clearly like native breeds here.
Yeah.
Carolina dog as well, which is just like a dingo. Yeah, I forget the name of that Greenland dog, but I had seen that.
I think it might be sled dog. I think that might be the name. It's just Greenland sled dog.
Let me Google real quick just to check. Oh, you're right. Yeah, Greenland dog.
Yes. Oh, just Greenland dog?
According to this, yeah. Okay. A large breed of husky type dog kept as a sled dog. Yeah. Used by the Thule people. Yeah, the Thule are the ones that lived in Greenland and over there, but that was like 1,000 years ago. Ancient stuff before that. Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other questions for you. I didn't really like plan anything. I just wanted to get to know you and talk to you.
That's totally cool too. You got a favorite dog other than German Shepherds?
I love labs, dude. Like
labs are like, that's just solid across the board. It's like picking a human for a D&D character. Just straight ones. You know what I mean?
That's so accurate. Yeah. They're just straight ones. Yeah, they're just like chill. Like golden retrievers, I grew up with one. My uncle's dog, it like wasn't in our house, but it shed a lot, but it was like the sweetest dog. Mm-hmm. Then we had a chocolate lab for a while, and she was like just so sweet. Dumb, but like sweet. Not that she got up to dumb stuff. You just couldn't. She didn't fetch. She didn't like to sit. Like, he just wasn't.
Well, it's so funny because everybody's like, yeah, labs are the smartest dogs. And it's like, yeah, for sure. I've seen service lab dogs that are super smart, but I've also met non-service dogs that are labs, and they are the dumbest things on planet Earth.
Yeah.
So
100%
it's
agree.
very interesting.
I mean, yeah, because they all have their own personalities and stuff, but I guess it depends on the breeding too. Yeah.
Are there American and English labs? Oh my God, what a dumb question. Labs are Canadian. I'm thinking of golden retrievers. Delete this.
Okay. I don't know the answer to that. So I guess
I think I answered it myself. I was thinking about because there's American golden retrievers and English golden retrievers, but I was confusing them with labs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know there's like the European German Shepherd and then like American ones. They have different hips or something.
What's an Atlassian? Is that just a German Shepherd?
Oh, an Alsatian?
Alsatian. My deepest apologies.
You might be right. I just can't read. Alsatian. Yeah.
Alsatian. Okay.
I think because the Latin word for Germany is like Alemania, which is that in Spanish too. So it's like Alsatian. So German. Sorry, I'm like nerding out here and
That's
reading. French to German rule in Alsace. What is the Alsace-Lorraine area? I guess, yeah, it just means it's a German
dog
or a European type German Shepherd. Yeah.
Fair enough.
A native and I'm not reading the wrong thing. The Alsatian and German Shepherd dog is the same breed of dog. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah. I got to get back to the video. There we go. Here you are. My dog's hips are like the high hip German Shepherd. They're not like sloping low, which means he's got like wicked dysplasia, but
I thought it was the opposite.
I don't know. I just know my dog is like, they're not working right.
Yeah. Can't win them all.
But he's a mix of like a bunch of different stuff. Yeah. Maybe the low one is.
Because that's what I mean, that's just, I don't know. That makes sense to me when it's lower.
It's weird.
Yeah. They're still good boys.
They are very good boys.
Yeah.
Did I ask you your favorite dog?
It used to be a Bernese mountain dog. And then Thor got rightly fucked up by a Bernese mountain dog. And so I still love them, but from a distance, and especially not with Thor, because Thor is very scared of them now. But I really like Salukis. I think Salukis are pretty sick. And I don't know if that's just because I read a book on Salukis.
You've mentioned Salukis like several times today, so I can
really
tell you're a little hyped on. I'll have to read more about them. Have you back on and we can talk about the Saluki.
I'm down. I'll do my research too.
Favorite dog, and then we talked about dogs as a kid. I asked you, like, what do dogs mean to you? I don't know. I just like, you're the dog guy to me. Like, talk to me about dogs.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I found out? Also, don't take this with a grain of salt because I haven't finished reading the book. But I'm like fairly certain that Irish wolfhounds are Scottish deerhounds that were Irish wolfhounds. Does that make sense to you?
Like they were brought over, bred, and then bred back.
So
or
I
something?
think I'm going to throw out a random number. This might be right. 1606, wolves went extinct in Ireland. And so everybody was like, well, we don't need an Irish wolfhound anymore. Let's go send him over to Scotland where they can chase deer. And then I think in the 1920s, I'm probably so wrong and I have no idea, but I'm going to keep going with it. A bunch of people were like, yeah, let's get Irish wolfhounds into let's get military dogs basically.
Okay.
And then, so they're like, oh, let's bring them back from Scotland and remake them Irish wolfhounds because they're basically the same dog. They just switch from wolves to deers.
Huh.
Let me confirm.
Did not know that.
It's true. It's probably because it's a lie. Hold on.
Sure.
Are Irish
Why
wolfhounds...
is Burmese mountain dogs so expensive? Those things are huge. Your face right now is going to be the thumbnail.
Okay. Google's not giving me an answer, so I'm going to ask Google's AI.
Google has AI?
Yeah, you've never seen it before?
Oh, right. Yeah, the thing at the top that's like AI answer.
Yeah. Okay. Are closely related but distinct breeds. They share ancestry that dates back to ancient times. Both breeds were developed for hunting large game such as deer and wolves, and they share similar physical traits like their large size and rough coats.
So like basically the same thing.
Okay, but it's here that Scottish Deerhounds are thought to have been developed in Scotland from ancient greyhound type dogs that were brought to the British Isles by the Celts.
Gets deeper, dude.
Oh, what the fuck? Yeah. So that was all wrong. Every word I just said was a fucking lie. That's why you have to read your books before you speak about them.
I mean, that is words to live by.
Yeah.
But that's something to say about dogs too. There's always someone has a different version.
It's exhausting
of where their dog comes from, or like, you know, labs are bred for hunting, like getting nets on fishing ships. And I'm like, really? I don't know if that's like I think the Chesapeake Bay retriever.
I've heard
I don't
that.
know.
Yeah,
like,
I've heard that.
And that's why they have web paws. And I'm like, yeah, but that's like, it's just so weird. And then like, well, my dog's the oldest breed, or like this and that. It just like,
well, I've even heard people be like, yeah, Basenjis are the oldest breed. And I was like, what? Really?
Basenji? I've heard that too.
That's crazy.
I think they're very old.
Because they do look the most like, who's got the jackal head in Egyptian mythology?
Anubis.
Yeah. Because they kind of look like a Basenji head. Very similar.
You're right. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Because he's supposed to be like a jackal right? or whatever. But then I read some paper, I think I said this in the lecture too, that they were like, he's just an amalgamation of all the
canines.
Like, which I don't know how they would know that for sure, but.
Well, isn't most of what we know about ancient Greece from ancient Egypt from ancient Greece?
I don't know about like most of it, but yes, like a lot of it is known from, I think Herodotus, I think is the guy.
Yeah.
But I also know everyone who always says that is like also Herodotus lied a lot.
That's what I got into an argument with my brother. I was like, so we're just supposed to trust some random guy on a lot of information that I learned in college? Okay.
Yeah. And it's been translated over 2,000 years. And I don't know. Egypt is such a fascinating, very unique civilization.
It's very interesting. To,
everything else. Yeah. Because like looking at it Western, you could argue like Japan, China, and Korea kind of share like a similar vibe. And then Greece and Rome had a similar vibe. But like the Mongols had their own vibe. But then Egypt's vibe was like wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like my dog's licking his asshole. Cool. And hi, Strider. I was going on a tangent about Egypt for some reason.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Sick.
We should just Anubis. Like I said this in the lecture too, so people probably already know this, but like he was the first. This blew my mind because I was reading all this stuff about domestication and dog history, and then like all the mythologies is just crazy. Like there's so many dog mythologies, and then that they have to do with death and the afterlife and stuff. But then that Anubis was the first to mummify somebody is like pretty crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that is pretty sick.
He mummified Osiris, so like. He's like, all the other Egyptian gods are kind of like antagonistic to humans. They don't like them and they're above them. But like when you die, Anubis is like, what's up, bro?
Yo, I got you.
Here's how you, yeah.
Welcome to the fields of reeds, buddy.
You get to farm for eternity if you were good. So
that kind of
have fun with that.
That's kind of boring.
Yeah. Or like Anubis was saying that, but
at least their pets were with them.
Pretty boring. Yeah.
Because they got paired with their pets. Were they alive?
The Egyptian pets?
Yeah. Like if I died and I was Egyptian, would they be like, well, your dog's got to go with you?
Seems to be the case from other prehistoric dog burials. I don't know about in Egypt, or they just like toss the cat in later when after it died. Probably sacrificed it. Yeah. I don't know. Seems to be the case. You just do away with the waste in most of those old timey things. I don't know what I'm saying.
No, I got you. I'm following the train of thought.
Yeah. Any last thoughts about dogs or anything?
If you've made it this far, just give your dog a nice cuddle. Just inject yourself into their fur. Don't do that.
Is part. That what?
That's me.
I was trying to figure out what that sound would be.
That's me just osmosising myself into my dog's fur.
I got you.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you talk to your dogs and like sing to them and stuff?
Oh, dude. Yeah. I come up with like random songs. There's one I've been singing a lot. Oh, this is going to piss me off if I don't get it right now.
All Star by Smash Mouth.
Somebody no. What the fuck? I don't know. There's one song, but I keep replacing the words with all the dogs that are just in my house.
Okay. That's a wet ass poodle.
Okay. No, that's good. I'm gonna steal that. No, but I do talk to my dog a lot. I sing to them a lot. I call my dog a slut a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because of the pets.
He just walks around with a big fat ass. It's like Jesus Christ.
I mean, yeah, you're good.
But no, that's a Samoyed thing. I've talked to a lot of Samoyed owners, and they call their dogs sluts a lot. It's just a thing. I don't know why.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, dogs are sick.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't call my dog a slut.
That's probably good. Yeah, I should probably stop. It's out of
You're
love,
good,
though. It's out of love.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love a slut?
I'm just trying to think of the words I use that are like equally as weird, you know?
Yeah.
I call him Monkey Man a lot because he like
good.
used to climb my couch. I don't know why.
Do you have because my dog's Thor, and I somehow devolved Thor into Bugalaboo. I go, hi, my little Bugalaboo. Do you ever have like a
telephone going on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Strider from Lord of the Rings, but then that became Stridey Man, Monkey Man, and then sometimes I just Handsome Man. I don't know, I think I picked that up from my ex.
Dude, I call Thor my little handsome guy. Or Monsieur
yeah,
Garçon.
What's up, handsome man?
Yeah, my little handsome boy.
Dude, French.
Yeah,
Mr. I don't know
Boy.
Why I do that. Just like comes out of my brain. I guess it's because he's pretty and I pet him. And then when you get, he didn't used to do this, but like recently this past month, like after 9 years, I found his spot where like he'll kick his leg.
Dude, it took you 9 years to get that?
He's just not, his hips hurt. So I think he like wouldn't do it or something.
So it's got to be like a real specific spot and then it's.
Yeah, and there must be like a knot in his fur there or something, but whatever's going on right now, he's loving it, dude.
Nice.
I've been
let's keep it going.
But his paws is like big as my face, so when he kicks my hand as I'm doing it,
how big is he? How heavy is he?
Like 108 pounds.
Holy crap. Jeez.
Yeah, and the thing too, like I'm not sure if he's fat. I can feel like he's got shape, but since he's so many different breeds and he has like 3 inches of fur on him that's like thick and matted, I don't know. And the vet's always like, seems good to me, but I feel like 108 pounds for like a shepherd mix is way too heavy, but they can be like 100 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, my dog's only like 55 pounds. And he's
easier to pick up.
He's super easy to pick up, but he's all fur. And some people are like, oh, your dog's so fat. And I'm like, no, touch him. Your hands will stop here instead of there. Yeah.
Yeah, like when he's wet, it's like, I'm like, oh man, he's emaciated.
Yeah. I had somebody, when I was living in Boston, I was walking my dog around East Boston. And they come up and they like barely speak English, but the only words they say to me, oh, your dog's so fat. I was like, bro, like who fucking comes up to somebody and just says that? And I was like, what the? Okay, thanks so much.
2024 fat shaming dogs. Dude. I know. We gotta grow.
No, hi, how are you? Nice fat dog. Just straight to it.
What's up, fatty? I guess they call him fatty a lot. Yeah, fat man, fatty. Just like it's usually when I'm like grabbing his like hips or butt, like trying to push him because he like it's the time of day that he goes pee. Like he knows that I know that the world knows that, but he'll just decide I don't want to go in the yard right now, so I got to like push him, and then he'll like fight it a bit. But that's when I think when I call him fat man. I don't know, they just are so peculiar. Like they just like your dog very well, but they'll still do like random behaviors. Yeah, like, what are you doing? Yeah. Yep. I don't know. So Thor, you didn't name him?
No.
Like it was already his name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they got him, they spent $2,000, shipped him from the Ukraine to Canada. And then they were, after like 2 months, they're like, yeah, actually we don't want him. And so I was like, yeah, I'll take him. And I don't know. I think Thor's a pretty good name because everybody's like, oh yeah, he's so fluffy. He's like a cloud and Thor's the god of thunder.
Right.
So I think it makes sense. And I've met actually another Samoyed named Odin and another Samoyed named Loki. So I think it's
hell yeah.
Good. But yeah, I don't know what I'd call him. I like for a really long time I wanted to name a Bernese mountain dog Mumford because Mumford and Sons is my favorite band.
Nice.
Yeah. But it's also weird naming a dog after a person who's still alive. Maybe that's just me though.
Isn't like Mumford multiple of the band members? Aren't they brothers?
It's Mumford and Sons.
Oh, that's right.
But
Mumford
it's
and
only
Sons.
the lead singer that's Marcus Mumford.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I was in college, people told me I looked like him all the time. And I was like, I don't think so. But I think it's when I had a shaved face or something.
Yeah, I was going to say, he doesn't have a beard.
Yeah. But Mumford and Sons came out like when I was in high school and in college.
How old are you? 32?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
How
28.
are you?
And
Okay.
so, yeah, my sister got me into them. She bought a CD and then kept the CD in her car. And then she fucked off to school and then left the car. And I was like, oh, what's the CD? And I was like, oh, shit, this is dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, they got played a lot and stuff. And people made fun of it, but I thought they were great.
Well, have you heard any of their new stuff?
No.
You're not missing much.
Okay.
Yeah.
I heard that got like poppy or something.
Well, they did a song with Pharrell Williams. So that's pretty poppy.
Interesting.
And it's also, it's like, it feels like a crescendo that never reaches, if that makes any sense. Like it feels like it's always building up to something and you're like, oh,
yeah,
it's
like,
about to drop or whatever. And then nothing happens and you're like, oh, okay, well.
Just a constant edge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like a Shepherd Glissette something.
Is that a French word for?
That's, you know what a shepherd tone is?
No.
It's where music sounds like it's constantly going up.
Oh, okay.
It's like that. Yeah.
I assume you play music, you have a guitar.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a better drummer. I don't know. I'm decent. I'm like a 6 out of 10.
Okay. Not bad.
Yeah. But that's
better
like
than I can do.
an actual 6 out of 10. Like other actual good musicians would be like, yeah, you're a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would write that on your resume, dude. That's good.
Okay. I will. Thank you.
I'm a 6 out of 10 drummer.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything else. I'm gonna have to wrap it because it's gonna be a bitch to edit after 2 hours.
Totally fine.
But next time I have you on, which I would like to get you on again.
Fuck yeah, let's do it.
We should do some kind of like theme or like have a bunch of breeds and like talk about them or something.
I'm super
I didn't
down for that.
think to plan this in the slightest, but yeah, let's do that.
I'm super down. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, let's just end it there, man. This was like fun.
This
I'm glad
is
I got to
super
know you a
fun.
bit more.
Me too. Or, yes. Me
Yeah,
too.
dude.
Yeah.
Either way, tell your slut dog I said hi.
Oh, I will.
And then, yeah, man, have Canada. Yeah, so I cut off at the end there. I rushed it. I'm going to have Jonny, plug where he's at. That's something I always should do.
My name's Jonny Devaney or Joncy Dev. That is JAUNCYDEV. You can follow me if you want to see some comedic dog videos or me pretending to be God and make those dog breeds. Overall, 6 out of 10. If you don't sub, I won't feel bad.
Hell yeah. Nice and honest. Let's do it. I'll put those here and then I'll put your links in the description and stuff. Do you have any like books or merch or anything?
I do have merch. Those are all on if you go to my Instagram bio, you can see it. It's more, honestly, I should have worn it, but it's kind of just like dog breed stuff. If you have a certain dog and you think that, I don't know, it's basically like slogans for dogs. So if you have a certain dog breed and you want to see if I have a merch for it, go check it out. But you don't have to pay for it.
Sounds good, man. All right. Take it easy.
All right. See ya.